Hello, welcome back to our vlog series on the summer garden presented by Marigold Company Gardening Supplies. This is Janelle, your in-house gardener, and today what we are going to do is learn how to build a raised bed garden. So this is something that is definitely straightforward, so if you're not super comfortable with building things and super hands-on, this is something we will take step by step, and there'll be pictures and everything like that so that you can create your raised garden bed in your backyard. Alright, so the first thing is really to look at your garden and just assess where we are going to put these garden beds. So this is something where, just for the example that we're using here, if you're not wanting to do a whole lot of work, just do an empty space. So for example, on the left hand side, you can kind of see some slates of rock there going to the pool. So we probably just want to leave that alone. So you can kind of decide if you want it centered or where in your backyard. I personally prefer to have them to the sides just because they will take up space. They are going to be a bit bigger, especially if you have kids, animals. It's just nice to have them to the side where you're not going to have to worry about it getting in the way or creating some type of safety hazard. An important note though is do be conscientious of where your hose is going to be, because you are wanting to make sure that you can get your hose from the faucet really easily to water your plants, so you're not having to maybe fill up a bucket and walk over to the plants. It's just going to be a huge hassle, so definitely keep that in mind. Alright, so let's get started. Let's get down to building the raised bed. So really we're going to get our main tools out. I think it's just so much easier to have everything just laid out. You have everything in one spot, and then we can get started. So in this vlog, it's also going to be linked in the description box, all the tools that is necessary for this project. So you can definitely take a look down there, print it out, go to Marigold Company. We'd be more than happy to assist you with those types of things and finding the equipment to build these raised garden beds. But a couple things that you're going to need is like a tape measure, leveler. Definitely going to need some slabs of wood here, and it would be beneficial if you could get a staple gun and just a easy power tool. Just get a drill. Just so much easier to do it with those things. But like I said, information is linked below. And so we're going to start out with the tools laid out, and it's going to look like that really nice garden bed that the two women are going to be planting in soon. Alright, so let's get down to measuring, picking out the size that you're wanting for your garden bed. And what I want to start out with is recommendation to do at least 6 inches of the garden bed. I would kind of go for that 10 or 11, as you can see in the picture that we took of one of our workers here at Marigold. She's doing about 10 or more close to 11, so that would be ideal. But like I said, at least do 6 inches as far as the deepness of your garden bed. So one of the great things is if you mention this video to our customer service, which is at the front of our store here in town, they will actually help you measure and mark and cut the wood to size if you're wanting to do that, and they will do it all for free as long as you mention this video. So again, you can definitely measure it to around like 10 or 11 inches deep. You can do like 6 inches wide and about, I would say like 5 or 4. Just keep it proportional as far as height or length and the width there. So with that, we will go on to our next step here. So now it's just placing everything together. What I would recommend if you are a one-person team is to help clamp everything together. You can actually rent one of these at the Marigold Co. store here, and I will be just about $5 a day if you mention this video again, and we can certainly rent that out to you. But you know, it could easily just be done with another person just to make sure that everything is leveled and you know where it needs to be. All right, so now is kind of the fun part. You have the base completed. Make sure that you prep the area that you are going to be putting the garden bed in. So sometimes building can take a couple of days, so if you don't want to get the area prepped right away, that's okay. Sometimes it actually might be beneficial just to wait right until you will actually put it into place. So as you notice there, we definitely removed all of the grass. If you have weeds, rocks, anything like that, definitely try to remove it and keep the dirt there. Also, what I recommend is taking a hoe and just kind of loosening up that dirt there. It's just really going to help the watering and everything and oxygen kind of, you know, be able to get to those plants best. So just a little tip there from us. All right, so now you have your bed in place. We don't need to fill it up quite yet or start putting plants in because we want to make sure that it is set perfectly. So definitely take a leveler and ensure that it is even. And you know, if it's not perfect, that is okay. But if you can definitely tell that, you know, it's a little wonky, it's a little crooked, you know, it just doesn't look as nice. So just kind of take that how you will if you want to make sure it's perfect. But like I said, if it's, you know, an inch or a centimeter off, you know, that's really going to be okay. It's not going to really affect your plants in there. But once you're comfortable, the way that it looks, the placement in your yard, I would definitely, you know, recommend if you know, feel like it, leaving it there for a day and just see, you know, how it's going to work there. You know, if you usually have dogs or kids out in the backyard, if is it going to be a hindrance, anything like that. And then just, of course, you know, seeing if it will move, if it will shift, and trying to make sure that it's a good spot for it, that it's not going to be too windy or, you know, something else is going to be affecting that bed there. All right, so now that we have it all situated, pretty simple. We just want to put the dirt in there. So you can definitely check out the store and get some recommendations on what type of soil to be using for your raised garden beds. If you're definitely going to be growing vegetables, you might want to use something more specific for that. Or if you're growing flowers, definitely different soils work better for different plant life. But you know, really just a matter also of your preference. If you're wanting organic, you know, it doesn't matter, things like that. All right, so once you have the dirt and soil inside, your bed looks gorgeous. It's in your yard. Now is the awesome part is actually putting those plants in the garden bed. So with that, the best time to really do this is in the morning. But really, you know, any time of day is going to work. But in the morning, why that would be best is because it's also better to water plants in the morning because there's just less evaporation at that time. So make sure you give your plants the needed space. It usually will say on the tags, we surely have it at our plants on at the store, like recommendation for how much sunlight it should be getting, recommendations for how much water, and how far it should be from other plants and what it works best with. So definitely make sure that you know what your plant needs so that you're not disappointed if that plant, you know, just really doesn't take the location that it's going to be at. So water those plants after you put them in. You don't have to get fancy. As you can see in our picture, we kind of decided to go an extra step and just put some tube in there and just connect it with the hose, so that way you can put a timer on there or just do like a manual one in the morning where you can just turn the faucet on. But again, that's really more of an extra, not a necessity. But it was really my pleasure talking to you all, and I hope that you will love your raised garden bed. Make sure, like I said, to mention this video, and we can definitely assist you with building the raised garden bed in your backyard this summer. Have a wonderful day.